Let's get more reaction from Europe now. The Costa del Sol in southern Spain is home to many British expats. Our correspondent Gavin Lee is there. Gavin, all yours.
Well, James, it's interesting because I've spent the last couple of days to the eve of Brexit and the day itself, today, the morning after and the afternoon, as we continue basically crossing parts of the Costa del Sol from Malaga, Torremolinos, Fuengirola, speaking to British residents. Most here, 350,000 in Spain, 20,000 close to where we are in Malaga, who many today saying that they just feel relieved. But where I am, well, different location. This is because just outside Malaga, Spain is the biggest producer of this particular vegetable, the avocado, and it's fascinating because it's the only part of Europe where avocados grow. It's actually here, Cadiz, Granada, because of the particular climate. It's 22 degrees right now, and they are the big producer for supermarkets in the UK. They produce particularly this farm, it's called Tropical Millenium, for Sainsbury's, for Tesco. And let's get a sense of how it might affect Spanish producers. I'm speaking to Javier Fernández, the owner of the company. First of all, give me a sense of what you're thinking the day after the Brexit and what effect it could have on your company.
Really, I'm not worried because I don't know what's happening in the reality after the Brexit, because the decision to leave is there, but the consequence of the decision is not there. They need to discuss it about. And with the result of the discussion, we know what we need to do. That means don't worry if you don't know why to be worried.
So in some ways, nothing has changed, but everything is different in the fact that Britain's out. The transition period means that everything stays the same until the end of this year. But then, of course, freedom of movement of goods to which avocados apply, there may be tariffs. Would that affect you?
They don't affect because we don't have any tariff normally for avocados and for exotic fruit.
For elsewhere outside Europe.
Exactly. If the product is not sensible in terms of the shelf life, that means if we have 1 day of transport more than now, is not a critical problem. The real problem is what's happened with the economy of UK, if the pound will be higher or not in front of euro, what the decision in terms of movement of people, what the decision in terms of financial, if I can invoice England without importation or I need a company there for import.
And briefly, you've met with bosses at Sainsbury's, at Tesco, to work out what happens next. What have they said?
They say still and wait. Nowadays they don't know what's happened like us, and they say for next season, because probably we don't have any change for this season because we finish in May, March, April, but for next season we need to make some different movement for assume that.
Javier Fernández from Tropical Millenium, the avocado producer. Thank you. Interesting, James. One other brief point from estate agents who are giving quite a different view around here, saying that fewer British buyers, for the first time they're not buying the most, it's the Danes, the Dutch, and they're slightly seeing a change in demographic with pockets of Danish villages for the first time in the last 3 years since the referendum. So there are different changes, but here reassured here in terms of the avocado produce coming to our supermarkets in the UK.
Fascinating, Gavin. So much. See you soon.